The matrix of leadership, formed from Primus himself, grants the bearer the wisdom of the primes.
But for every force in the universe, there is an equal and an opposite. For every matter, an antimatter.
Legends speak of the Darkspark, the antithesis to the matrix of leadership.
Where the Matrix grants wisdom, the Darkspark empowers its master to bend the very fabric of the universe and its inhabitants to his will.
This is our darkest hour. Cybertron has nearly fallen, and the Autobots are on the verge of defeat.
This is our finest hour. Cybertron is nearly ours, and victory is finally within the Decepticons' grasp.
This summer, we have a new Transformers movie coming out, which means it's time for another movie tie-in. This one's a little different though. It combines the world from the popular Transformers Cybertron game series with the Michael Bay films. Will this be one of the few games to break the trend of movie tie-ins being quick cash grabs, or should it have been left in the ruins of Cybertron?
Autobots, Lockdown is not here for us. He seeks to gain possession of the Darkspark. We must not let it fall into his hands.
What is this Darkspark? A weapon?
Something far worse.
The story revolves around the Darkspark. After fighting the Decepticons and Megatron, Optimus Prime sends the Darkspark into space so no one can use its power. Years later, it ends up crashing on Earth, and a robot mercenary named Lockdown steals it. It is up to Optimus Prime and the Autobots to get the Darkspark back and stop Lockdown. Like previous games, you switch between Autobots and Decepticons and get to play as several different characters. It ends up being a rather bland story that just gets you from one firefight to the next. The final boss fight is one of the most anticlimactic fights I have ever played. Clearly there was no thought or time put into this to make something exciting. The gameplay is almost exactly the same as the previous games in the Cybertron series. It's a third-person shooter where you go from point A to point B taking out enemies. Even though you switch characters almost every level, most of them feel the same. The only difference is the special ability they have. Some of them are cooler than others, such as Drift's Blade Dash ability, while another is just a grappling hook to help traverse levels. You can switch from robot to vehicle almost anywhere by clicking the left stick. You have to hold the left trigger to drive, and steering is done with the right stick. The steering is a little stiff, so it's good there are no standalone driving segments, and you'll spend most of your time in robot form. Later in the game you get to play as Grimlock, which is a nice change from the other characters since he transforms into a T-Rex. Some new elements to the gameplay are the ability to equip 3 different tech upgrades and a hack. The tech upgrades are one-time use items mapped to your directional pad. These include short XP boosters, a deployable shield, turrets, and more. Hacks are game modifiers that increase the difficulty but give you an XP boost. For example, you can make it so your gun has a higher rate of fire but enemies have increased health. You get these items in gear boxes. These are loot drops that you get whenever you level up or complete challenges. If you played Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, they are essentially the same as weapon crates. You unlock weapons, weapon upgrades, new characters for escalation, tech upgrades, and hacks. It makes you keep playing to get your weapon upgraded and unlock the character you want to play with in multiplayer, but before I even finished the campaign, I was getting repeat items. Once you complete the campaign, you're left with Escalation. This is a horde mode where you and up to 3 other players have to survive for 15 rounds. You either play as Autobots or Decepticons and can choose from a wide range of characters. Everything you unlock in campaign transfers over to Escalation and vice versa. You earn money by defeating enemies and can upgrade turrets, healing stations, and more in-game.
Turret installation online.
There were some odd design choices, such as giving people the ability to fly, but having an invisible wall in the sky that prevents you from escaping some fights. It's a fun mode that can go from being too easy to very challenging very fast. At launch, there are only 7 maps to choose from, and it would be great if they gave free updates with maps, characters, and abilities, but I'm sure they will charge if they do decide to support this game.
Turret installation offline.
The real question is, why no competitive multiplayer? While Escalation is fun, it just won't keep people's attention long enough. I can only assume that this game had to be rushed out to be timed with the new film's release. The multiplayer in the Cybertron series was different and fun, and it's sorely missed here. Rise of the Darkspark is a step backwards for the Transformers game series. High Moon put a lot of love into the Cybertron games, and this just feels like a cash-in for those who like the previous games. It's not a bad game, but it could have been so much better. If you enjoyed the gameplay of War and Fall of Cybertron, then you'll get some fun out of this, especially if you have some friends to play Escalation with. However, I would not recommend paying $60. Unfortunately, by the time the price drops, online will most likely be dead and you will just have the campaign. If you have to play it, I would find a way to rent it and keep your expectations low.
Ineffectual as ever.
So what did you think of Rise of the Darkspark? Do you plan on picking this up or waiting for a true sequel to the Cybertron series? Let me know in the comments, and please like and subscribe for more game news, reviews, and Let's Plays.
You are meddling with powers you cannot comprehend. Do the right thing, Lockdown, and simply hand it over.
How honorable. You truly are a prime. Alas, I see no profit in merely giving you my prize. I decline.